We should not be shocked about this. Let me just tell you that we should not be shocked about this. President Donald Trump, breaking news, has changed the immigration policy once again for people who are trying to go to the United States. The United States has just announced another significant expansion of global visa restrictions. Let's break it down in this video so that you understand what's happening on the global front, and so the US and America can understand whether people will still be coming on to America and feeling like they're taking your resources, or whether that time is coming to an end, even though America technically needs more immigrants. The United States Department of State expanded visa restrictions targeting certain foreign nationals based on national security concerns and specific categories of conduct. So I want to break this down. Citing national security concerns, I would say this is valid as somebody that's just an entrepreneur, kind of focused on cybersecurity as well, technology, watching the geopolitical shifts. This is valid because we are at war with Iran. You don't want like false flag Iranians, Russians, Chinese coming in, whoever African people that they could be afraid of coming in to dismantle and cause dissent, because I think actually this is coming a little bit too late, to be quite honest with you. I think there are already players already in America causing dissent. This is what you see online, trying to cause upheavals and uproars. Anytime you see stealing, unaliving, and destroying, that is a work of the adversary. And anytime you see the word adversary, it doesn't just talk about spiritual principalities, but just an adversary is an enemy, somebody that's against what you are for or against the unification of your peoples. And so I think America is actually a little bit too late on this. I think the true adversaries of America are already there. Whether they're Iranian, whether it's some people who are African, whether it's some people who are Russian, whether it's some people who are Chinese, I think the damage is already done. But at the end of the day, they're looking out for people who have organized violence, organized cyber enablement crimes, or other activities deemed harmful to the U.S. interests from obtaining visas. Recent announcements have also expanded across individuals involved in cybercrime, and in some cases, family members may also be affected. This is getting crazy. The United States of America is broadly expanding how immigration policy intersects with national security, digital activity, and international enforcement. I want you to consider the last 18 months on this world. We've seen expanded social media screening, additional vetting procedures, the stripping of dual citizenship, potentially even for Americans who are dual citizens, restrictions affecting nationals from dozens of countries, including a plethora of countries in Africa. And remember, over 30 U.S. embassies in Africa have stopped consular services abroad. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your take on what you think that's about. It can be a long comment. It could be a short comment. I just want to open it up for engagement and conversation, because I think that's really interesting as well, because we had those U.S. embassy closures, the warnings from the State Department. Now we have even further restrictions being updated recently. Like, this is interesting. They're like, we did not do enough. We need to continue here. And again, I think this is just too little too late. You already let in thousands and millions of people during the Biden administration, tens and 20s of years ago. You've already just exhausted everything. You can't bombard a system like this. And I know people will be like, well, you got to let everybody in, but you can't just bombard somebody. That's like 50 people coming into your house when you have seats for just 15 people. You can't bombard any system like that. It just does not make sense, right? But this is how you can cause dissent. This is how you can cause disillusionment and discontentment within the U.S. when you have all of these different groups. Some people that are Americans feel like they don't have everything they need. Then on one side you have the race wars. Then on one side they're still lynching people, like may our young brother rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and there's additional people. You have too many chaos factors, which is really why me, as an entrepreneur, a mother of 6, a wife, I wanted to leave America in 2015, ended up leaving in 2019. Took just 4 years by the grace, favor, and glory of the Most High. I was just able to get out of there because I just knew it was not going to get better. And my thoughts have really just exceeded my expectations. I knew it would get bad, but I never knew it would look like this, what we're looking at today. Whether you agree with these policies or not, we are seeing this shift across the globe. We've seen this even in Ireland, the UK, Sweden, Switzerland, not every country, but this is where it's important to be in a community with global advisors who have 6 years plus track record of doing this for themselves and for over 1,000 clients throughout the years, okay? Countries around the world are no longer viewing immigration simply as border management. They are looking at it from the context of national security, and this changes everything for digital nomads, entrepreneurs, students, retirees, and anybody building an international life, which is why you should check out the Mature Adult Intensive Enrollment Guide. See if it's right for you. 4 weeks, sophisticated container where you are paired with another expat, another retiree, another entrepreneur. We recently had a couple who's actually younger. They're about to give birth. They wanted to go through the Mature Adult Intensive because they're like, what are my options when I'm looking across Africa and the islands of the sea, other areas, to see a 5 to 10 year stable residency? We are no longer in the time of get up, pack a bag, go on the beach, take a picture. That's not relocation. That's not what the folks want in 2026. People are looking for, where can I be stable with my children for 5 to 10 years without jumping every country every 5 seconds? Where is there anti-corruption? Because I don't want to deal with bureaucracy in World War III, because obviously during World War III, if you're dealing with corruption and bureaucracy, this just off the chain, then those things are going to amplify. Psalms 18, let the righteous be righteous still, but let the wicked be wicked still. So you want to be in a place that is somewhat trying to make processes transparent, like a Rwanda, like a Mauritius, like a Ghana. These are like my favorite 3 countries to talk about currently because I like the way that they are going with their processes. Burkina as well, but Burkina is closed off specifically to us American people because you don't want any American ops getting in there. I completely understand, completely get it. I feel the same way. You got to be careful with American people because you just don't know what you are going to get. And Burkina has shut that down. They're like, listen, maybe in the future sometime, but right now. So if you're Canadian and you're of the diaspora, you're from the United Kingdom, you're of the diaspora, Caribbean, you guys are welcome to come over. But they're like, Black Americans, it's going to be a no. We got to put a pause on you. We don't quite know what you represent. Too many of you guys, you're hot and cold, you're lukewarm. We just got to put a pause on you guys, okay? That's national security. Pause. See, I know that you have been looking up how to generate income online, how to make money online. You need an extra 5K, 9K per month, whatever it is. And you know AI can do a lot of things. Now, I'm a 10-year entrepreneur. I own a retention marketing firm, and I have worked with some of the biggest clients that exist, not only within Black-owned businesses, but now also Fortune 500 companies. But I would love to teach you to do the same thing. I mean, come here. As long as you keep this quiet, I will give you my secrets, 15 different innovative AI business models that you can use, thinking about working with dentists, plumbers, electricians, body care, supplements, tech companies, social media companies as well. Visit the link in the description for the State of the Diaspora Business Intel. If you are the diaspora and you want to be mobile with your money, this is the edition for you. Your ticket is $100. See you there. Something we always tell our clients, never assume yesterday's immigration rules will be next year's immigration. And people are like, well, what's the urgency? Why do I have to move quick? Nothing in life is permanent. I would need you to understand, just from the biblical perspective, we have agricultural seasons. We have seasonal feasts, meaning things have to be completed in their time zones, in their time portals, in their times where it's right to accomplish this. There's no new thing under the sun, but you also have to be in a seasonal aspect in your life to understand, hey, if I want a premium digital nomad visa from a Mauritius, from a Namibia, from a Kenya, I better get it while it's good, because if I look back in 1 to 2 years, that may not be a thing. If I want to retire abroad, I better get my 10-year residency while it's good, because if I look back in 1 to 2 years, they may change those requirements. And it's not a bad thing. People go abroad and they're like, why are they changing requirements? Understand, just from a earth biblical perspective, agricultural, nothing remains the same on earth. Okay, there's a time for planting. There's a time for sowing. There's a time for reaping. There's a time for harvest. There's a time for being still. There's a time for going fast. There's a time for everything under the sun. And immigration departments are not different. Immigration departments follow that same spiritual and biblical principle. So I don't want you to become too stressed out and complaint filled and just like, oh my gosh, things are changing around the world. Just don't be lackadaisical, okay? Don't be lazy with your plans. Be somebody that if you decide to do it quick, get it executed fast, get it done. If you know you need to start an online business before 2030, get it done. Faith without works is dead. Go through the proper procedures. Set up your consulting firm. Get market research done. Understand no businesses were made by one person. Have a team of advisors. Our businesses have never been one-person businesses. We have global advisors, consulting advisors, curriculum that we purchase from other businesses to assist us in product development. Contractors, graphic people, copywriters, operations managers, social media associates to help grow our channels, mostly our Instagram actually and LinkedIn. But that's besides the point. Learning how to integrate AI into your firm. These are things that if you are not doing these things, then you will, I can guarantee, be left behind, because I look at AI right now and I'm not even caught up. No human can catch up to AI because it's just so out there. But take what you can take and leave the rest for whoever it needs to be left for. But you don't want to be caught in 2030 with the universal basic income, because guess who the universal basic income beast system is going to affect most? Poor people, people who do not have a business, people who did not plan, people who are lackadaisical and lazy, who just thought, I'll wait for daddy government, daddy Uncle Sam to figure everything out, where Yah is like, I want to be your God. I want to be your Elohim. I want to be your strong tower. I want to be your provider. I want to teach you how to profit and lead you in the way you should go. I want to tell you, according to Psalm 16, lengthen your bands, strengthen your cords, because you have a goodly inheritance, which literally means to the Hebrew minds, expand your tent, because I'm about to increase you. He's pronouncing these things to you, to all of us. But some people are just too lackadaisical and disobedient to the point where they're just going to be like, well, I'd rather just wait on daddy government. Isn't that the thing that ensnared the Israelites when they wanted a king over them, King Saul, who ended up being just insane? If you read the Bible, the book of Samuel, isn't that what really ensnared the Israelites? Yah was like, I want to be the king. The Israelites were like, no, we need a king like some of these ancient kingdoms over here. You see everybody else on earth, they have a king. So they're negotiating. Yah is there for negotiations. He's very merciful, Elohim, very favor-filled, very wonderful. And the Israelites were like, no, we need an earthly king. We need somebody that everybody can see. Like, we need something like the nations. We kind of have to be like them. Okay, don't be like that in 2026. Please do not be like that. And I want you to also understand that Spain has been changing their residency pathways. Thailand has introduced new long-term visa categories. Rwanda has updated their investment programs. They have a Z2, they have V12, I believe. They have a lot of different programs on their eRainbow site. Mauritius has adjusted work and premium visa frameworks. And now the United States has continued expanding and screening their own visa eligibility rules. There is no new thing under the sun, and everything has a season and a time. This is the exact reason why waiting too long will cost you much more. You will be dwindling all across everywhere with no stability. And that's okay if you're single or if it's just you and another person. But if you're family oriented, if you have aging parents that are traveling abroad, it behooves you to understand, okay, who's residency? Let me take my elder parent with me and get them residency because they're dependent on me. These aren't your everyday expat questions. We're the only people who really ask these questions from what I can see, because most people are stuck on, hey, what's the most popular town to visit in the winter? What's the most Christmas-oriented town that I can visit that's going to give me an experience like America? Nobody on this channel cares about that. We are just a different level of people that are not caring about those types of things, okay? And the reason I express that we're not interested in Christmas is because it is a pagan holiday, okay? So we're keeping the feast over here, trying to understand the end times, trying by the grace of Yah and the blood of Yahushua to understand what to do in the last days, okay? Understand, policies are going to continue to evolve. Governments are going to evolve. Windows are going to open and close. If you're someone that is considering international relocation, this is just another reminder that your plan B does not need to live just inside of your head. It needs to be a living document on paper. Which countries currently fit your goals? Know how to keep your documentation, keep your passport current, maintain certain financial records, protect your digital identity, and most importantly, you have to stay informed because, again, we are in that World War III war scenario where national security is everybody's top of mind right now. Start to go to the places like a Cape Verde, a Sao Tome and Principe, Seychelles, Mauritius, Sri Lanka. Some of these places people are not even thinking about. Rwanda is even getting more popular. Go to places that people are not considering, and you're going to find more stability, more peace. There's not going to be as much drama. Literally, Yah is pulling people of all nationalities. I want to get that totally correct. All nationalities, pulling them out of the West, dropping them all across the earth to scatter them in different places to prepare for the end of the days. And so if you know that's you, if you want assistance on that journey, if you're looking at this channel, you've been watching it for months and months, and you're like, wow, this is legit. I need to just get a move on and not be afraid. Look, you can still feel fear and click that button. You can still feel fear and go ahead and purchase your ticket. You can feel fear and pack your clothes. You can feel fear in your body deep inside of you, but also know and be spiritually minded and courageous enough to say, okay, I'm afraid, but I need to make some moves. I'm uncomfortable, but this has to get done. It's unfortunate that I have to leave my favorite cupcakes and my favorite bakery behind in America, but I'm going to execute on this plan, okay? I get it. I miss Cinnamon Crunch bagels at Panera Bread. But you know what's more important than bread? Okay. Similar to the story of Jacob and Esau in the Bible, this just came to mind. Esau was somebody who gave up his birthright, his inheritance, for lentil stew. There's an Esau spirit that's out here in this world right now where people will give up the birthright. People will give up their destiny. People will give up where Yah is directing them to go, how Yah is directing them to move for some lentils, for some donuts, for some McDonald's, for some KFC. People will give it up just for some food, just like Esau did. But Jacob, the scripture says, was a more prudent man. He would stay with the sheep. He would follow what his mother said because Isaac's favorite child was Esau. But Jacob's mother knew that he was the chosen seed and he was the chosen child, even though the blessing technically belonged to Esau, but Esau was disobedient. So when you're disobedient, those blessings will fly right on over to the righteous without any delay, without any issues, indeed. That's what I leave you with today. The U.S. is changing their visa requirements. They're talking about $100,000 bond for people that want to get that green card. They were already doing the $15,000 bond just in the last year. Understand, times are changing. Things are not as they used to be. And you need to understand your foundation. You need to understand your foundation. Do you have a foundation? Because if you do not, you will just be flown in the wind. You'll be going this way, that way. You won't know what to do. You'll be in tears. You'll be stressed. You won't know what to do. A lot of people ask us, how do you do it? And it's really just the grace and the calling and the favor of Yah on our lives. That's literally it. It's just written in our book of life from the foundations of the earth. I'm going to have Harold and Tiffany. I'm going to have them in Mauritius. I'm going to have them here. I'm going to have them have 6 children. I'm going to increase their children. Then I'm going to have them do this. It was just written in our book of life. And so we just decided to get in alignment with Yah and not care about what anybody else on planet Earth thinks. But it does make it easier when you have supportive family. I'll leave you with this. It's a nice story from my uncle. So for my family growing up, I was closest to my dad's side of the family. Although my mother and father were married, my father has passed away, okay? So I was very close with my dad's side of the family. That's just how it was. And so one of my closest uncles was my uncle, who I won't say his name. I like to keep my family members' names private and things like that, even though we do have a very, very public, very view-centric YouTube channel. And he left a message for me from my brother. My brother is currently in Mauritius, Africa with my mom. He left a message and said, keep going, to me. You are doing the work of our ancestors. You're doing the work that was set before you that we used to do in the old times, because we found out people in our ancestry would explore and travel the world similar to the Black Moors. He said, keep going, because recently we were looking like, oh man, some of our family members are getting older. Are they okay? And the encouragement was, keep going. You are doing the work that has been set out for you. And the most beautiful part of that is when you have family that has grown up, seen you grown up, has been in their different areas in government or whatever, and they're saying, keep going. What you're doing is necessary for the lineage. We're all about lineage. We're all about family. We're all about doing the will that Yah has set before us. So if Yah, by the grace of his greatness and his manifold wonderfulness, decides to show us his light for our life, then for us, it's like, yes, I'm going to follow it to the fullest extent that I'm humanly capable. If you give me the grace and mercy to do it, I will fully execute it, and I'll try to do it without delay. Not perfectly. Sometimes you are delayed and you get distracted, but I will try to execute it to the fullest extent, because the scripture says a righteous man falls down 7 times but gets up 8. Let your mind be that righteous mind. Let your mind be the mind that's like, let me prepare. Whether you're supposed to be purchasing land in Texas, Mexico, Belize, that's not our portion. We haven't been given that for a very specific set of reasons, because we understand that land also is under judgment. We know Southern Africa is not going to be under the judgment as hard, because Southern Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa have already been under the judgment. They were the first to get judged, actually, in this world turmoil, as evidenced by the colonialism, the slavery, all these things. He literally says, I'm going to turn the captivity back. And so what I put on you, now it has to go to Europe. What I put on you, now it's going to come to America. What I put on you, now it's going to go to Australia. He is resurrecting Africa in such a beautiful way that I am just honored and enthralled and excited and just happy to be here. Just happy to report this to you. Happy to be here. But I think that's it for this video. Shalom, shalom. Visa laws are changing across the world. America is not letting the folks in, and I get it. National security is a thing. But what do you need to do in these times where all these changes are happening on planet Earth? I'll see you in the next video.